Hey guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we now have the EZAs for the 50% support units on global. I feel like that's going to just be the generally accepted name for them going forward, as it always has been, even though I guess technically they now give 60% support to their specific typing characters. But we're going to start off here with Kabba. I haven't put the sticker on him. I always forget to do this like before I start recording the showcase, so we'll put the sticker on him at the end. He does have the like key circle thing, so hopefully his sticker effect will look pretty good. Mine is 90%. I've built him for full additional and then 10 dodge. Because he is one of the ones that has the better super attack effect. I did go over this in a bunch of previous videos. I probably should mention it in this one since it's the first one going up, but I probably won't do it for every single one going forward. Because remember that these guys all have the exact same passive, and it's only their super attack effect that actually sets them apart. So Kabba has the best one out of all of them. Him and the Int Gohan both have this. Supreme damage to the enemy and raise attack and defense by 50% for 9 turns. So it's a 50% raise, it lasts for 9 turns, so you can get multiple stacks out of this. Really, really good. And then of course him being the Super STR 50% support unit, it means he's giving STR types 3 key, attack and defense 10%, Super STR gets the extra 50, so Super STR in total 3 key, 60%, still would be giving Extreme STR 3 key and 10%. And then yeah, he changes orbs of a certain type to STR. Then we get the 50% attack and defense per orb obtained, an extra 20% if those are STR orbs, as well as 10% crit chance per STR orb, which is why you don't build any of these guys with crit, because by picking up their orbs they just get a bunch of crit chance anyway. And if you are able to actually pick up 10 orbs of their typing, they would have guaranteed crit anyway. But even if you're only getting like 5, 6 or 7 orbs, you're still getting like 50, 60, 70% chance to crit. Like, you don't need any crit in the hidden potential. And of course, Kabba being STR, he has level 5 crit anyway, so he already has a separate 10% chance. And then the important thing to remember when you're throwing these guys onto teams is you need to have these other allies to get the rest of their abilities. So if you have another 2 or more super allies on the team, regardless of whether they're STR or not, that's how you get the ability that once only at 50% or less HP, he changes the entire orb field to STR. And then if you have 3 other STR allies on the team, and they can be super or extreme, he has guard for the first 4 turns. So you can see here we're starting off just under 900k. That'd be great for turn 1. Starting off at 93k defense. We've only got Super Saiyan active here, but I do really want to see how he's going to work with this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because we all know, of course, this guy is just made for doing damage. Has these extra links here active with the God Goku, so should be a pretty good turn for him. And then we'll see what Kabba is looking like straight off the bat. So worst case scenario, of course, taking a super as the literal first attack of the turn. But we still take double digits. I mean, it's not like this stage is particularly high. I should have looked at his defense after grabbing the orbs, of course, because we picked up like 10 orbs. So he's going to have had around like 400k defense easily with guard, and we get the additional super. This is why he's built for the full additional, right? Any extra super you can get with a stacker is incredibly good. And then this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he only gets the 170 lead from physical God Goku. So for 3 links active, 10 million attack stat there, pretty nice. And then God Goku should be able to finish him off. Now, unfortunately, with these guys, it comes, you know, I always do like the Cell or the Frieza as like a general showcase, because they are the events that are a little bit longer. And, you know, they're not like Fusions and Masu throwing out AoE straight away on turn 1, which, to be fair, these 50% support units, they'll be fine against Zamasu on turn 1 as long as you get orbs for them, because they're going to have a relatively decent level of defense with guard, which means they will be tanking his AoEs for double-digit damage. And then any of the ones that are raising defense on super, depending on how many orbs you get with them, you might actually be able to tank his super attack. So I brought B-Pan on the team just so we could see some shenanigans. Obviously, this particular team is probably not even, like, this build exactly is not a team that I would run in, like, any events. But I did showcases for these guys when they came out on JP. where I just kind of use them on a 200% team with some realistic link partners just to see like what they would be like. So for these ones, now that they're on global, I just kind of wanted to run them with some other fun units that get that support buff from them. And then, of course, we will be doing some other more specialist videos. So I actually recorded it earlier on today's stream, but the video probably will be up tomorrow. I did a video using Kabba on the new Saiyan Day Tech Vegeta's Super Saiyans team, because he does get a 200% lead from him. And on that team, we're running a very, very strong build of that Vegeta team that has a bunch of Super STR units, including like Super Vegeta and Kefla. And of course, with the support from Kabba, those units just go crazy. I'm pretty sure, you'll have to keep an eye out for the video tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure the active skill turn for Super Vegeta, he gets like a 41 million attack stat or something stupid, so that's pretty fun. So yeah, these ones are just going to kind of show off the units a little bit, but put them into some wacky situations. We get these extra support. We've got the pan active skill, which of course will make Kabba hit even harder. And we'll see how we get on, because Kabba definitely is, out of all 10 of the support units, he's the one I think that has the most value. If you're only going to try and summon for one of them, I would say go for this guy. So this is a bit of an example of a turn that can be a little bit less great for him though. So we got 2 supers in the first turn, so he's basically doubled his defense going forward, right? And so if we grab the 5 STR orbs, remember STR, like same type orbs for these guys, is giving them 70% per orb. So now he's at 600k defense with guard, which means any event in global right now, even in slot 1, he's tanking all normal attacks for double-digit damage on this turn because he's got 600k defense and guard. Now, of course, when you're using him in a lot of these events, like you're obviously not going to be putting him in slot 1. But yeah, just to kind of show that that is the level that he can get to quite easily. So we'll finish off second form Cell here. Shout out, as always, to the global exclusive Limit Breaker second form Cell. And yeah, 4.89, so about 5 mil. Now again, this is what, 5 orbs, 1 link active, so certainly not a crazy attack stat. We got the double super again though, that is peak. So double supers on both turns, that is the ideal, like the literal perfect RNG, so we love to see that. So yeah, doubling up on that defense yet again. And then of course that was his final turn with guard, but definitely very, very good showing. Now of course in this event it's a little bit easier, so we're less likely to come across the need for the, or well, I say the need, the fact that it might not even happen, but the orb change with the dropping below 50% HP. Probably not going to see, well, I guess it depends, right? Bardock, of course, needs to get hit once in order to get guard, and then hit again to get the defense buff. So if he gets supered by this Cell in slot 3, because Cell does like to super multiple times per turn, then we could definitely drop below the 50% HP. And then, of course, on the next turn, that would be actually insane if we could do that here, because the next turn is the one where we're going to have B-Pan on the rotation, and her active skill is ready to be used. So imagine we use her active skill for the multiplicative attack buff and get a whole field of STR orbs with Kabba in slot 1. That's going to be absolutely ridiculous, but we'll see. If he supers the GT duo, they probably won't take much damage even if they don't get many supers off here, because we obviously they have very high stats and some damage reduction, and Cell doesn't hit that hard despite having type advantage. I guess it depends, right? I mean, these guys don't start out with the craziest defense, but they are getting their additional supers off here, so I don't think they would take much damage from a super. If we want the real chance of starting the next turn at 50% or less HP, it really needs to be Bardock that eats a super here in slot 3, so we'll see. You know how it always goes with the RNG, it's like when you don't want the unit in slot 3 to take a super, they do. And now in this situation where we actually do kind of want that to happen, who knows? He hasn't supered again yet. Come on, Cell. Well, sadly not, but we've got a decent orb change here though, so the question is, if I don't see, if I guess I could not float, I guess I could float off Pan and then she'd be back again for the next one, but chances are we just won't get the buff anyway, so I mean, Saiyan Lineage gives what? 2 key, 5% attack and defense, and Shattering the Limit gives 5%. And what are we missing out on? Super Saiyan, which is 15%. So it's slightly more attack if we have him in the same slot with Goku. Because remember, we don't have guard anymore, but we are starting the turn at 309k defense, which that's before he picks up any orbs. So if we do this, yeah, we can get 11 orbs and 2 of them are rainbow. So 9 STR orbs. So 9 of those orbs are giving him 70% each. And then the 2 rainbows are giving him 50%. The 9 STR orbs are giving him a 90% chance to crit as well. So he has 1.7 million defense. Now, bear in mind, we got very lucky the first 2 turns we got additional supers. You're probably not running Pan in any difficult events, but she's not providing any direct support. So Kabba having like 2 or 3 links active is definitely going to be a very common occurrence. And we haven't used an item, we haven't used an additional orb changer or anything like that. That's just off the back of the orbs that he made himself for this turn. And he's at 1.7 million defense. So that's pretty good. I am tempted to just use the active skill here, but I think we'll hold off one more time here and see if we can get the see if we can drop below the 50% HP. That's the only downside to doing these events that are not as difficult, because of course on global we don't really have any sort of longer form events. It's one of the reasons why this guy's just he's a non-stop additionaling machine. He's got 22 additional. That means he has a 44% chance to additional, and he's additional supered every single turn. So absolutely showing out for the showcase. You love to see it. So this guy always supers in slot 1. I suppose we could do this. The GT duo won't take loads of damage, but ideally we just want them to take enough damage to... Let's do this as well, because God Goku might take some damage too. We just want to take enough damage that we lose 50% HP. And the GT duo, obviously in slot 1, not the craziest. They've got type advantage and they've got some damage reduction built up already. So yeah, 63. I mean, I could have put God Goku in slot 1, not gotten 6 orbs, and then hope that he doesn't dodge. But, I mean, the chances are he probably would have just dodged, and then we wouldn't have lost any health at all. So I was kind of hoping that we would take a bit more than that. But I suppose, to be fair, the GT duo did, what, like 3 or even 4 supers on the previous turn? So they'd already built up a pretty decent amount of damage reduction, and they have type advantage. Bit of a shame, but yeah, that's the only downside, is that healing ability, the full orb change. I mean, it's not just for the healing, but the full orb change ability is so useful in the harder events, but in the events that aren't as hard, you're not as likely to see it, which is a little bit unfortunate. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here at the end. We didn't get a super. Oh, we got the additional super, I see, and then he just dodged everything anyway. So, what are you on now? So, we're at basically 500k defense start of turn. We can't get a lot of orbs here, but that doesn't really matter. We're just going to get the heal here. I need to stay away from same type orbs as well, really, because we don't want to get the Dokkan attack before we get the chance to lose some extra HP. Even with non-STR orbs picked up, 7.7 million, whilst that's not anything crazy, this is a unit that is, you know, floating support. He won't be on rotation much, so obviously him getting these big... ooh. See, I don't want to... How do I do this? Do this. And then... I guess we'll just do this. I mean, there's not much of a chance that I lose a lot of HP here, so we're obviously just going to have to pull the trigger on the B-Pan active skill on the next turn as it is anyway. But sadly, it looks like we're not going to drop below our 50% HP threshold. We do in the Super Saiyans video, though, so obviously do check that out. Like I say, that's coming out tomorrow. Kabba definitely puts in a shift in that video, so... definitely worth checking out. That team's actually super fun. I can't wait for the anniversary content to drop so we can start running some of these team builds in new and different events. I think my biggest disappointment with this Goku and Hirudegarn celebration is the fact that they didn't drop the early stages of the movie bosses red zone. Because for JP, those came out on the same day as Goku and Hirudegarn. And then I know there was only the 2 stages, and then they dropped more as it went on, and then they dropped the final 2 in the beginning of the anniversary. But they just haven't given any of it on global, which leads me to believe that because the last 2 stages come out with the beginning of the anniversary, they're going to wait until closer to the anniversary to actually release the event in general, so that then, you know, we get the event, and as the stages come out, then there's not a huge gap between stage 5 and then the last 2. Which does make sense to a certain extent, but then is also super annoying for global, because obviously, you know, we want the units. So, alright, so we got a decent amount of orbs we can pick up here. We're at 485k. This is the final turn, of course, that we would actually be able to keep our stacks. So I guess what we do here then is we just grab these. So we got 9 STR orbs again. So by grabbing those, that puts us up to 2.4 million defense. And then let's go ahead and use B-Pan's active skill as well. Yeah, 2.4 million defense. Do you think that's good? I'd say that's pretty good. Do I want you with you? Saiyan Lineage and Shattering the Limit, or Super Saiyan and Prepared for Battle? Yeah, we'll put you there just so we can... We're going to get the Dokkan attack, which I don't really want, just because it's... I have to look down the bottom to see the attack stat. But this is going to be pretty crazy. Please, Super, go on, do it. I wanted to see him eat it for double-digit damage. So the Dokkan mode kind of gets in the way, but you can see the attack stat down the bottom there is 15 million. So... I mean, again, like, that's not insane for, like, a nuking-style unit with a B-Pan support if it was, you know, a unit who's designed to be a damage dealer. But you have to remember that Kabba is doing that on top of being the 60% support with 2.4 million defense on this turn. You know, not an unrealistic turn for him. We didn't use any shenanigans, no, like, item changing or anything like that when it came to his defense. So he's just casually rocking 2.4 million defense. That means he tanks normals from, like, every event from the anniversary as well. Like, that's on that turn, which is pretty good. Now, if you're flowing him in slot 3, you won't have had, like, multiple turns of him double supering as much as we did in this run. We definitely got really good RNG when it came to him getting additional supers. But, yeah, I mean, Kabba is ridiculously good. He is the one you want out of the 10 if you don't have any of them. You know, we've got units like Kefla, Super Vegeta. The anniversary brings the EZA for STR Vegito, as well as Beast Gohan, who is STR. Like, Kabba is the one you want. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If you did summon for them, I hope you did get lucky. Let me know your thoughts on all of that down below in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.